Have you ever wondered how an event that happened years ago could still affect your thoughts and control your actions today? This is the ever-lingering shadow of emotional trauma, an invisible burden that can shape our lives in ways we may not fully comprehend. Emotional trauma is a response to extremely stressful, disturbing, or distressing experiences. It can stem from a variety of sources such as neglect, abuse, or the loss of a loved one. These events can shatter our sense of security, leaving us feeling helpless, isolated, and vulnerable. Consider emotional trauma as a weed. Weeds have roots that need to be removed in order to stop them from growing. This is the same for emotional trauma. Weeds start off small, but if left unattended, can grow and spread, invading every corner of your garden. Similarly, emotional trauma can infiltrate various aspects of our lives, unconsciously influencing our self-esteem, relationships, personality, and our decision-making skills. When we talk about self-esteem, we refer to the way we perceive ourselves. Emotional trauma can distort this perception, leading us to believe that we're unworthy or incapable. This distorted view of self can create a barrier that prevents us from forming meaningful and satisfying relationships. As we walk around carrying the weight of our past traumas, we may find it challengingly difficult to trust others in constant fear of further hurt or disappointment. Moreover, emotional trauma can leave a lasting imprint on our personality, which often leads many to feelings of hopelessness and a deep resistance for change. It can shape our behaviors, attitudes, and reactions to different situations. For example, someone who has experienced neglect may develop a tendency to be overly independent, refusing help even when they need it. It is important to remember that emotional trauma is not a life sentence, but rather a part of your journey, a chapter in your book. It doesn't have to be your whole story. With understanding, support, and the right strategies, we can learn to navigate the aftermath of emotional trauma, reclaiming our lives from its tight, deathly grip. Remember this, emotional trauma is not your fault, and you're not alone in this journey, even though you may feel that way. There are plenty of resources, professionals, and communities ready to stand and share with you, providing the support you need to heal, grow, and thrive. The effects of emotional trauma are profound and run deep, shaping our lives in ways we don't fully understand. By acknowledging its impact, we take the first step towards healing and transformation. Our brains have a remarkable ability to remember traumatic events. The science behind emotional trauma is as intricate as it is fascinating. At the heart of it all are our brains, the command center of our emotions, memories, and reactions. When we experience a traumatic event, our brains go into overdrive, working to process and understand what's happening. This process starts in the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for triggering the fight, flight, or freeze response. It's like an alert sentinel, always on standby and on the lookout for danger. When it senses a threat, it sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus, our internal command center. The hypothalamus, in turn, activates the sympathetic nervous system, which triggers an adrenaline rush, heightening our state of alertness. This is why we can remember traumatic events so vividly. Our brains are wired to remember threats in order to protect us from similar dangers in the future. However, this protective mechanism can lead to cognitive dissonance, a psychological term referring to the distress we feel when our beliefs or behaviors contradict each other. For instance, we might blame ourselves for a traumatic event, even though we know logically that it wasn't our fault. This cognitive dissonance can create a whirlpool of confusion and self-doubt, further intensifying the effects of the trauma. Emotional trauma doesn't just affect our minds, it can also manifest physically. Chronic stress from unresolved trauma can lead to insomnia, digestive issues, and even chronic pain. This is because our bodies are constantly in a state of high alert, ready to respond to perceived threats which can wear us down over time. Emotional trauma is complex in nature, but it is not without purpose. Our brains and bodies are designed to protect us, even when the danger has passed. By understanding this, we can better comprehend our reactions and behaviors following a traumatic event. More importantly, we can recognize that these reactions are not signs of weakness, but rather, they are a testament to our strength and resilience. Understanding the science behind emotional trauma can help us better understand our own reactions and behaviors. So how can we identify the signs of emotional trauma in ourselves and others? Just as a physical wound manifests in visible symptoms, emotional trauma too has its signs. The echoes of emotional trauma can vibrate throughout our daily lives in ways that might seem subtle at first but can have a profound impact over time. One of the most common signs is an enduring sense of sadness or fear, a lingering gloom that seems to pervade even your happiest of moments. This emotional turbulence is often accompanied by a heightened state of anxiety, a constant apprehension that something bad is about to happen even in the absence of any imminent threat. Another telltale sign is difficulty concentrating, finding it hard to focus on the task at hand. This can affect productivity at work or school, and even mundane everyday tasks can seem like uphill battles. Moreover, emotional trauma can bring changes in appetite or sleep patterns. Some may experience insomnia, waking up multiple times during the night, or having difficulty falling asleep. Others may sleep excessively, a type of escapism from the emotional turmoil within. Similarly, some may lose their appetite, finding food tasteless and unappealing, while others may resort to overeating as a coping mechanism. The key to understanding these signs is not to view them in isolation, but as a collective symptom of a deeper issue. They are the body's way of signaling that something is not right, an internal distress signal that needs to be tended to. Recognizing these signs in ourselves and others is of paramount importance. It's an act of self-awareness, self-care, and compassion. Always remember that acknowledging the problem is not a sign of weakness, but rather a strength. And while it may be challenging for you to confront these signs, remember that you're not alone. There's a world of support out there, from therapy and counseling to support groups and self-care strategies. Recognizing the effects of emotional trauma is the first step towards healing. So, let's take that step together towards understanding, acceptance, and ultimately, healing. Healing from emotional trauma is not a straightforward process. As we navigate the path to healing, it's vital to remember that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. Each journey is as unique as the individual embarking on it. Take the first step by seeking professional help. Therapists, counselors, and psychologists are trained to guide you through the maze of your emotions, helping you to confront and understand your trauma. With their expertise, they can provide a safe space for you to express and unpack your feelings, fears, and hopes. Healing also involves the practice of self-care. It isn't just confined to sitting in a counselor's chair. Self-care is about more than just bubble baths and candles. It's about investing in your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It's about nourishing your body with healthy food, engaging in physical activity, and getting adequate sleep. It's about setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and learning to prioritize yourself and your needs. It's about acknowledging your feelings without negative judgment and giving yourself permission to feel and ultimately heal. Another key aspect of healing is connecting with supportive communities. These could be in the form of support groups, online forums, or even close-knit circles of friends and family. These communities can provide a sense of belonging, a space where you can share your experiences and learn from others who have walked a similar path. They remind you that you are not alone, that your feelings are valid, and that it's okay to lean on others for support. Lastly, remember that it's okay to ask for help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It shows your courage and your commitment to your healing journey. Remember that healing is not a destination, but rather a journey. It's a path filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, and requires a lot of patience, courage, and determination for change. Healing is a journey worth undertaking. It leads to a place of peace and self-acceptance and ultimately happiness. Healing is a journey. What if we told you that it's possible to grow and thrive after experiencing emotional trauma? Yes, you heard that right. It might seem like a paradox, but emotional trauma, while devastating, can also act as a catalyst for profound personal growth. This phenomenon is known as a post-traumatic growth, and it's a testament to the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Picture a piece of coal under immense pressure. It emerges as a diamond, radiant and unbreakable. Similarly, the pressure of trauma can lead to transformation. The pain can serve as a wake-up call, prompting us to reevaluate our lives, our values, and our relationships. It can open our eyes to new perspectives and a deeper level of understanding we may not have reached otherwise. In the end, the most important thing to remember is that you are more than your trauma. You are not what happened to you. You are the strength that kept you standing, the resilience that kept you moving forward, the growth that followed the pain. Remember, emotional trauma does not define you. With time and support, you can heal and grow. Thank you for taking the time out to watch this video. I do hope you're all doing well, thriving and not just surviving. Have a fabulous day, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel.